Greg, I don't know how you evaluate the 68 passes, a bunch of yards, touchdowns, the interceptions. I wonder, when you guys looked at it, how you evaluated what happened in the secondary on Thursday night.
Well, we got off to a slow start, I'd say. You know, they made some plays on us. In looking at it, it was a group of guys that have played some but haven't started, haven't been in that role. I was concerned a little bit during the first half, but I was pleased the way they rebounded in the second half.
If you looked at it and you got that stat sheet and you saw all those numbers on there, what would stand out to you? The positives with the breakups, the interceptions, or the negatives with the yards? And what did you see that would have caught your eye first?
Well, as coaches, you always see the negative first, you know. But when you look at the game, there was really a ton of positive things. The defensive line played outstanding. We had, I think, 38 plays of no gain or lost yardage, which is, you know, that's rare. We gave up 3 plays of plus 25 yards or more. You can't do that. That's kind of always the tipping point, you know, those chunk plays. But again, there's some guys out there that you know, this is Ohio State. It's not, you can't, it's not unacceptable. But they came back in the second half and didn't allow it, which was the important thing. So hopefully they've got some experience under their belt now, and we can move forward.
Let me ask one more. Would you have thought that you guys would face 68 pass attempts, and is that maybe a good thing that you get all these game reps for those guys at once?
I do think it is a good thing, and I thought it was a very good plan. I mean, we had 5 sacks and I don't know how many hurries and hits, but that guy, he was getting rid of the football. He was not going to hold the ball. You could see he was well coached to, you know, it was 5 hitch and throw, 3 hitch and throw. He's getting rid of the ball, and that was a good plan. And early on, it was effective. Later in the game, it wasn't so effective.
Second row left, Dan.
You guys came right out the first play of the game with 5 defensive linemen on the field. How effective do you feel like that package was, and is it something you anticipate continuing to do over the course of the year?
Yeah, I do think, well, you know, again, you have 11 guys that get to play, and we have 5 guys that we think are tremendous players. And when you roll out a package like anything else, you're practicing more than just that. And slowly, when they get good enough, then you roll out another piece of that package and then another piece. So there'll be more to come. It's all part of growing your defense as the season goes on.
What are the biggest advantages to having that 5th guy on the field as opposed to just 4 defensive ends?
I think it's more of who those 5 people are. You get another dominant player on the field is the way we look at it.
Second row middle, Tim.
Greg, are you at all surprised by how far Malik Harrison has come since he was kind of a late addition in the 2016 class? And I mean, he played like 40 snaps or something against Indiana.
I'm not, because I get to see him every day, but I could see how some would be, because, you know, the perception from outside might not be. But he's an incredibly athletic and large person and runs well, has good body control. He just needs to keep learning the defense, learning how to play at full speed. He's going to be a really fine player.
Second row left, Ari.
How would you assess the way that Denzel played as a whole? I know that he made a lot of pass breakups and he had the game, basically the game-clinching pick, but I think at times, at least in the last 2 games you guys have played, he's been matched up with players and receivers that are significantly taller than him. I was wondering how that can hinder him at times and how he can overcome a height disadvantage.
Well, he has incredible leaping ability. He has really good anticipation. He made a few mistakes the other night. Alignment errors, things that would have taken him out of harm's way. So we just got to clean that up, and, you know, I think Denzel will be fine.
Did you like the way that he played overall, and do you think that he has come up along during the offseason as what you would expect from your guys' top corner?
Yeah, I think when you play corner, you know, it's not the 5 you made that stick out, it's the 2 you missed. And that's the position. If you don't like it, go play something else, you know. So what'll get focused on is the catches, because around here the standard is you don't allow catches. And we had guys that allowed 8 catches in a whole season. So that's the standard at Ohio State, and that's the way it should be. So we need to rise to that standard. We're not ever going to lower that standard, and Denzel will tell you he's going to cut out those mistakes, and he's going to play the way that he's capable of playing. He did some really great things, and then he had a couple plays that he wishes he could have back.
Front row right, Tim.
Yeah, in that regard, Greg, would y'all have liked more just straight up pressure on the receivers coming off the line with that quick throwing game they had, or was that lacking a little bit early?
No, it wasn't quick throwing. Don't misunderstand the quick throwing game. The quick throwing game was vertical shots. It was fades and fade stops, back shoulder fades. So we were.
Guys were getting releases is what I was talking about.
Well, we were pressing them. So we started to adjust a little bit and do a little different techniques. We bailed a little bit and tried to change up. So I didn't think it was really that they weren't getting disturbed at the line of scrimmage. I thought we were doing that. They made, look, you got to give credit to Indiana. They made some tremendous throws and catches as well. Now, again, this is Ohio State. Catches are unacceptable. But, you know, you got to give your opponent credit, too. They have some really good skill guys, and they made plays at times. But as the game went on, we made plays. And, I don't know what it was, but in the second half, we played Buckeye defense and Silver Bullet defense. That's what we have to do.
When you look at this, a lot of people are looking at this game on Saturday night as maybe the best offensive line in the country going against maybe the best and or deepest defensive line in the country. Do you see that also? What tells you their offensive line should be rated in that category?
Well, I study them, you know, so I study them all off season, and I study them now in preparation for the game. They're outstanding. It is a battle of strength on strength, and if such a thing, inexperience on inexperience. So their receiving core is relatively inexperienced. They graduated a lot of their production, and we graduate a lot of our secondary players. So that area is inexperience on inexperience, whereas the front, they have a lot of experienced guys. We have a lot of experienced guys, and I'd say those are the strengths. But it's a tremendous challenge because behind that great line is a electric quarterback, a guy that is. You know, you're not going to stop him, but you hope to contain him.
Yeah. When you talk about a great offensive line, what is it that stands out about a great offensive line? Is it communication? What is it that just, obviously they got some good players, but what sets them apart?
Well, don't undersell that. You know, people say, obviously it's good players. Yeah, it's good players. That's number one first, like way up here, and then other stuff's down here. But make no mistake about it, they have incredibly talented linemen, and then they're coached well. They have a very good scheme. They get in and out of a lot of different personnel groups. They run similar concepts out of all the groups, but it challenges you as a coach because you have to work on every one of the groupings. So combination of talent, coaching, scheme, all the above.
Time for a couple more. Deep in the back, Jared.
Hey, Greg. You and Urban obviously share a lot in common. One of those things being you both have kids playing high school football right now. I'm just curious about how you're managing that. You've got two, right, at Academy?
We do.
The way that you try to be involved with them, try to see their games as much as possible with your schedule right now, which is hectic. How do you go about managing that? How important is it to you to be there to support them as they pursue their career?
Well, it's very important. It's very important to both of us, and I work for a guy that gives me the latitude to go do that. You know, I'm going to take care of my business. But on Friday nights, I'll meet with the guys, and then I get to go watch my son play, and then get back with the guys. So it's a blessing to be able to do that because, you know, they're the most important to me.
Are your conversations with them football focused, or do you never talk about football?
No, I try to help them when I can. You know, you can't get involved too much. You don't need a coach and then another coach, right? So I don't know what they're doing. But I tell them all the time, see what you hit. That's my biggest thing. I want them, their eyes up. And if they'll do that and have fun, those two things, I'm good.
Far left over here, Lori.
Coach, could you talk about how much grit Kendall Sheffield would have had to have shown last week, but with his family and the concern he had to have had for them? And then, you know, early on in that game, he probably had some plays that he wanted to have back, but he didn't make plays like that tip that Jordan Fuller ended up getting. Could you discuss the level of grit that he showed?
Well, I think it's a good, you know, I hadn't really thought of it like that, but I think you're right. Fortunately, his family's safe, and they're a little bit on higher ground, but not only family, but extended family and friends and all that. And you're up here in Ohio where it's safe. I'm sure that weighed on him. But he doesn't show much of that. You know, he's a steady-as-you-go guy. And in the game, when they did catch a few on him, he didn't. The thing that I was pleased with it, there wasn't any panic. Coach Combs coached them, and they kept playing and played their way out of it.
And final questions, front row, Bill.
Can you detail the challenge that your secondary will have this week against Mayfield and that passing game? Because you can't necessarily count on the defensive line against their offensive line dominating, and it is obviously a very young defensive line, and especially their tight ends are a very big part of their offense.
Well, you're right. I think it all starts and ends with Baker Mayfield. He is an extraordinary athlete as well as an extraordinary quarterback. He's got incredible arm strength. And when I say incredible, he can really throw the ball down the field. They do a great job of moving him, you know, because he's not the biggest guy in the world, so they'll move him off the spot, so you're never really sure where the spot is. We have to have a really, really defined rush plan to make sure that we keep him contained and make him throw from containment. He is most dangerous when he has a little bit of space and he can let receivers get down the field, because he has a strong enough arm to go, you know, roll over there and throw it all the way back over there. And you saw it in our game. They hit a touchdown on us last year. So it's all going to be part of that, part and parcel. And you're right. They have an unusually gifted tight end that, I mean, he is as much a receiver as any receiver on the field, and they use him as such. So it's matchup issues, all those kind of things. It's a challenge. I mean, there's a reason they're a really good team. There's a reason we're a really good team. So it's a great matchup. College football at its best, and you know, our guys are looking forward to it. I'm sure they are too, and that's why you play them.
Great. Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Much.